Garry Barker, an ex-design sculptor from Aston Martin, and an avid collector of Laverack bicycles. My passion for cycling probably began about 6 years ago. I was working for Aston Martin in the design studio, and I can't quite work out the moment when I thought I'm going to cycle to work, but that happened. So I started cycling, and instead of doing it bit by bit, I just carried on cycling. And of course, you can't go from no cycling to lots of cycling without suffering, and I did, but I persevered, and I just enjoyed so much travelling through the landscape, really being part of that under my own steam. It just became, I became addicted to it, really. And this is when I got to a point where I wanted to have a really nice bike. And by chance, I discovered this new startup company called Laverack. And I quite liked what they did. And the fact that it was a young company with young people, I thought, this is probably somebody I'd like to do business with. And what really impressed me was the fact that they were prepared to listen to what I had to say in terms of what I felt I wanted in a bike. And I thought that was actually quite unique, because most companies will give you a bike. This is what it is, you either take it or leave it. Oliver and Dave were prepared to sort of listen. Well, obviously, being a practical kind of chap, I got very interested in an old design called the Pedersen, and I thought I quite like the look of that. It's very theatrical, which plays to my, my vanity. So I thought, why don't I make my own? And it got a bit addictive, because once I'd done one for me, I thought, well, I'll do one for my wife, whether she wants one or not. And then I thought, why don't I make a tandem? And it just mushroomed from there. But it got to the stage where I was thinking in triangles and straight lines. I was dreaming about triangles and straight lines, and I thought, this is something I've got to sort out. So that was the genesis of me thinking about designing a bike that went completely in the opposite direction, being very curvaceous, challenging the diamond frame construction. And that's when I went and started putting pen to paper, and I came up with the CURV. After a while, I was thinking, do you know what? I've got a nice TI bike designed by a really lovely company. Let's go to them and see if they can make this. And that's how it started. I think I like titanium because its ability to withstand corrosion, its strength ratios, and the fact that I like the zing of steel, and you get a bit of that zing. It's really hard to define, but there's something about riding a titanium frame that would, for me, so different than riding a carbon. And the fact that I know that long after I've gone, that frame will still be around, and that appeals to me. I think if you're going to spend money, if you're going to use energy to create something, it should be of the best quality and durability. Titanium fits the bill. The thing I like about this particular design is that it's a real Marmite concept. Not everyone's going to like it. Some people may love it. A lot of people will question it, but that's great. What you don't want is a design that people have no thought about, because then why does it exist? And so I will be intrigued to know how this particular frame, the response that it creates. I think that's more than anything else. I know the frame will work, I know I'll enjoy riding it, but I'll be intrigued to know how it gets responded to by other people who've not seen it before. The bottom bracket on Laverack's bikes has got freedom to explore, and that's not just the landscape. you know, the natural landscape, it's also design landscape. And they've proven that they can do it. This end product is very much a unison between myself and Laverack, and I hope that it gives people out there the understanding that there are companies out there that will engage with new designs and new concepts, because there's a lot of companies that, well, I would just say the majority of companies would not entertain it. And I know for a fact that I have spoken to other companies in the past when I first thought about doing the titanium curve. They had no idea how they were going to produce it. So to work with a company that's actually made it happen is a blessing. It is truly a blessing. They've been so enthusiastic about bringing this whole concept, this Laverack curved concept bike together, has been very joyful for me. I am absolutely looking forward to just taking it out on the road. It's going to be an urban bike, so I'm not planning to go around the world. And I'm going to take it to some interesting places, so we'll see. I'm just so glad it exists in the world.